Good evening. I'm Jim. With me is Tyler. The Pirates are coming off of a doubleheader sweep. Tyler, I don't even really know where to begin tonight, but let's just say final score, Pirates 16, Nationals 1. And who are these guys? Like, this is ridiculous.
The Pirates good.
They're beating the hell out of people. They're beating the hell out of people.
Yeah. I was on with Doug earlier, and we were discussing the Pirates at this point. And I mentioned that this April's not fluky. Like, they are dominating teams. They're not just scraping by these one-run games that they shouldn't win. No, they are beating the crap out of teams. They're good. Right now, they are good. Right now.
So the win today makes them 20-8 on the season. They lead the National League in wins, first team in the National League to 20 wins. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is also a franchise record for wins in April, which is kind of nuts. Don't quote me on that, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I saw that somewhere, but so if somebody wants to just verify that for me, please do so. But they're 20-8. They're 11-4 now on the road away from PNC Park. The pitching is just outstanding. The hitting, people are just crushing the ball. Jason DeLay has a 1,050 OPS. Jack Suwinski's basically an MVP contender right now. Miguel Andujar comes up today and just is it's like the Pirates traded for Babe Ruth last year. I don't know what's going on. This team is they're legit.
Someone's got to be cheating here.
They're good. This team is good. They're flat out. They're a good baseball team. And yeah, the Nationals suck. Let's get it out of the way. But the Pirates are doing to the Nationals what teams like the Mets couldn't do to the Nationals. The Mets couldn't do this. Meanwhile, here's the Pirates. They outscored the Nationals 22-4 today over the 2-day span. And game 2, 16-1. I guess if we're going to start I guess before we start anywhere, is anything else we want to kind of get out just how crazy this is?
It's just weird. I've not really turned the game on time yet this year because I'm always behind doing something. And it feels like every time I turn the game on, they're up 2-0, 1-0, 3-0 in the second inning. Every night.
Every night. Tonight, 1-0. They scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 4 in the fourth. Fourth inning comes around and it's 8-0. The game's over. They're just putting teams away early. Mm-hmm. They're getting ahead early. The pitching is staying consistent. This game was a laugher from the fourth inning on. The Nationals were done. We're absolutely done. The Pirates were putting in, Drew Maggie got two hits today. The Nationals were putting position players in. It's so fun to be on the other side of games like this. Because this is what the Pirates have been. Yeah. And look, the Pirates have been the Nationals the past few years. Yeah. We've been the ones that have to sit through and lose 16-1 to teams as we see Josh Van Meter throwing 55-mile-an-hour fastballs down the middle in the 8th inning, right? That's typically what we've been used to. And here we are now, we're doing this to teams, and it's incredible.
I think the Pirates are feeling themselves so much that Castro and Marcano flip positions late in the game for fun. Because in the 8th and 9th inning, Marcano was at short, and Castro was at second, and nobody mentioned anything. It wasn't even in the scorebook.
Yeah, it's in there now. But
Is
like,
it?
yeah, they did. They just like apparently just switched around. Connor Joe played 3 positions today. Like,
Like they're
yeah, like
feeling themselves.
they were just like, let's just go out there and have fun. We're beating this team 16-1. I mean, at the point they were actually beating them 16-0. Johan Ramirez gives up a home run to spoil the shutout. But my goodness, let's begin. I think the place to begin here is Vince Velasquez. He goes 6 scoreless today. He started off a little shaky. Like the first inning didn't look great. Second inning, strands the bases loaded. Third inning, he comes out there and he's sitting on a 4-0 lead, right? And then he just cruises the rest of the way. So he goes 6 scoreless innings. He hasn't given up a run in, I think, 18 innings now.
Yeah,
18 straight scoreless innings for Vince Velasquez. He's been outstanding. Ever since that White Sox game, he's been outstanding.
Yeah, and with him, along with a couple other guys in the rotation right now, we're seeing heavy breaking stuff. Like, we know what Rich Hill is. That's what he loves to do. But Velasquez today, he probably came close to doubling up his fastball with a slider. He was heavy slider today. We've seen it with Rowanzi lately. It's like it's just an organizational philosophy that they're buying into right now that they've kind of flipped on halfway through this April. It's working.
Yeah, in particular, those first couple innings where he was struggling, he was leaning heavily on that slider because you could tell like he just wasn't on. And I think he threw basically 65% sliders those first 2 innings. So he was leaning on that pitch heavily to get him some outs. As the game progressed, it kind of evened out to more normal usage. He threw 50% sliders for the game. But yeah, that pitch, DiNardo's the one who always tweets it out. It's like the third best slider in all of baseball or something like that. And again, like he didn't look great out of the gate today, but once he got that 4-0 lead, he really settled in. And he was on cruise control from that point forward.
Yeah, that's something the Pirates are really doing well this year is after they jump out, get a run or 2 early, they're coming out and getting that 0 the next inning.
Yep.
That's huge, just momentum-wise, being able to shut them out after your team puts up some runs. We're not used to seeing that.
No, and that's big. Like the fact, like these starting pitchers have just been outstanding. I think Velasquez with Hill going the quality start and Velasquez going the 6 innings. I think that was 18 quality starts now on the year for the Pirates.
Yep.
At this point last year, the Pirates had 1.
Yep.
1. So they go from 1 to 18 in a 1-year span, and you can see the difference that has made. The Pirates now have more wins now than they did on Memorial Day weekend last year.
Yeah, the pit.
And it's April.
Everyone likes to talk up and down about what the bats are doing, but it's really just comes back to the pitching. That rotation has been stellar. There's nothing more you can say. In 2023, when you can get 6 innings, that's just 6 innings 18 times, not to mention the times that weren't quality starts. That's a lot of innings your starting pitching has been eating so far this year.
Yeah. And you guys mentioned it on the first post-game show today. You had Holderman, Bednar, and you used Bednar in that 9th inning with a 3-run lead. And you're like, well, hopefully, we don't really need him in game 2. They didn't need him in game 2. So
they didn't need anybody really.
They could have put Drew Maggie in there to pitch if he wanted to. You know what? That's what we should have seen. Sheldon should have put Maggie in there to pitch the 9th.
That would have made me happy.
That would have been outstanding. And just like an epic, that would have been just like an epic troll job too. Like
really, it would have.
Oh God, yeah. So just again, Vince Velasquez, the ERA is now down to 3.06. It's incredible the turnaround because you look, and in particular, like I want to talk about the slider just a little bit. It's one of the best pitches in baseball right now. One of the best sliders in baseball. Last year, Vince Velasquez's slider was terrible. Like it was a bad pitch for him. It was actually one of his worst pitches that he threw. It had a run value of 4, which means like you don't want to be in the positive when it comes to a run value on your pitch. And his was 4. This year going into today, it was -6. So just a huge difference that we've seen on that slider in particular from last year to this year. So I don't know what Oscar Marine is doing to these guys, but whatever he's doing to Vince Velasquez seems to be working.
Yeah, I cannot remember if it was Velasquez that kind of incorporated that sweeper slurve type action last year with the slider. I could be wrong on all that.
I don't see one. Like, I mean, like StatCast isn't identifying a sweeper, but that could be.
But there's a lot more dive action, I think, with the slider this year. Doesn't really run horizontal that much, it doesn't seem. But
it does have quite a bit more vertical movement.
Right.
Yep.
I don't know if it was similar last year, but this version of it, it's kind of like Joe Musgrove through when the Pirates went through that little phase of loving the slider. It's that four-seam football slider. That's Roger Beshan's reference. Never mind. I'm just taking us off the rails. Yeah, it's a really good pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent pitch. And then, like I said, it's crazy just to see how it went from a poor, like it wasn't even like an average pitch last year. Like it was a bad pitch. It went from a bad pitch, and now it's one of the best sliders in the game. So pretty incredible turnaround from Vince Velasquez. And I just really hope that he keeps it up so I can win that under 4.5 ERA. That I was so confident
that you can get so much off of because you laid down a lot of money on that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so Vince Velasquez, another great start. Cody Bolton coming in, making his major league debut. I mean, at that point, the game was pretty much over, so he was just kind of on cruise control as well. But 2 scoreless innings out of Cody Bolton, a guy that we've been paying attention to for a long time. He was a pretty hyped up prospect after having a lot of success in the lower levels of the minors. Injuries kind of have derailed him and kind of brushed him to the side over the last few years, but it's really nice to see him now in the majors. I don't know how long he's going to stick around. I don't know how good he's going to be, but nice 2 scoreless innings, major league debut from Bolton. Did you see anything in particular there that?
No. I mean, when you're up 13-0, it's really hard to identify anything.
I'm with you. His stuff certainly isn't what it was like when he was, dominating the minors. I will say this, like he definitely had some adrenaline going. His fastball averaged 94 today. I know when I saw him 3 weeks ago, he was like 91, 92. Yeah. So he was pumping it a little bit higher than normal. I mean, if he can keep that in that range, then maybe he can be pretty good. Because I mean, the guys had success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just another guy with the injury history. Good to see him get a little bit of a shot here today, but it's hard to take anything from this kind of game once you're up by that amount.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the Nationals put Jeter Downs in the game. They put Michael Chavis in the game. He just came out of nowhere. I didn't even know what. Like I was like, where'd Michael Chavis came from? And all of a sudden, he's catching like a ball in foul territory. I'm like, when did that happen?
Didn't know he was still in baseball.
All right, so great performance by the pitching again, but let's talk about the bats. Like they just absolutely exploded. They jumped on Chad Kuhl. They kind of. They were consistent early on, got the run in the first, got the run in the second, and they did that mostly by, small ball. So a lot of sacrifice flies, a lot of sacrifice bunts at the beginning of the game. You had guys getting on base, being moved over, and then being hit in. So that's how they kind of got that lead to begin with. But then come the 4th inning, it was just...
It was batting practice.
It was full speed ahead. Like they just started teeing off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doubles today, a triple, 2 homers. Jack Suwinski, grand slam, hit the ball 444 feet, just absolutely demolished it.
114 miles an hour.
Andujar's homer came off a position player, but it was the second of the day. Like, let's actually talk about. So the first person I want to talk about, Carlos Santana. I feel like, he came up big in a lot of those early spots. He had 3 hits today, went 3 for 4, drove in 3 runs, scored 2 of them. It's so refreshing because he has stepped in and he's filled a position where the Pirates haven't had much luck at. Josh Bell had a couple like really good months at first base, and really other than that, Pirates haven't had a good first baseman in a better part of a decade.
Yeah, and not to mention with him, the glove has been phenomenal over there. He makes plays that we haven't really seen a first baseman for the Pirates make, aside from defensive replacements. Also, something to note that I noticed today, I think we're starting to see that ban of the shift coming into play with him, because I think he hit 3 rockets right where that third baseman would have been standing there in shallow right field. That seems to really be helping him so far. And he's just hitting the ball hard.
He's hitting the ball hard. Like I said, the double, hit the ball hard down the line, just timely hitting, good at bats every single time. He's got his average up to 281, slugging 438. Like, the guy's just putting up professional at bat after professional at bat after professional at bat. And like you said, he's playing good defense at first. Just an absolute great turnaround from him. Because he was fine last year, but he wasn't anything special. He's having fun. Like the clubhouse obviously loves him. He's providing, obviously very valuable veteran leadership right now.
In the first game, whenever Castro gets picked off, I think Castro was the first one to go grab him. Just
Santana was, yeah.
Or Santana, I'm sorry.
Santana,
yeah.
He just has a really good he's got a really good thing going with everyone in the clubhouse. The suit jacket, the jacket was all Santana, and I guess Cruz had a part in that too. But man, this team's they're playing so well right now. They're having so much fun, and it's just awesome to watch these guys, because I'm even going back to like when the Pirates were good, like 2013, 14, 15. I don't remember stretches like this. Like, they were just consistently good, but they weren't.
Yeah, there was
20 games in a month good.
There was maybe a stretch or so in 2013, but nothing like this, and it was definitely never in April.
Yeah, the fact that they've jumped ahead right now, and they're doing what they're doing just right off the bat, straight out of the gates. It's just getting everyone excited. And like I said, Santana's had a huge part in that. I think McCutchen also has had a huge part in that. McCutchen was basically the only player to not really do a whole lot in game 2 today. He did have a sacrifice fly, one of 3 sacrifice flies the Pirates had today.
Which I think coming into today, the Pirates were tied for the lead with sacrifice flies this year. Just another example of how well this team is doing the little things. We see the sacrifice fly. We see the stolen bases. They're just doing all the small things very well right now.
They're doing all the small things very well, and they're doing all the big things very well too. Like they're just doing everything well. Yeah, the small things, like we mentioned, like sacrifice bunts. Marcano had a sacrifice bunt early on to move runners over, and that ended up being a Jason DeLay sacrifice fly that moved in a run. That was in the second inning. So, like, they're playing the small ball when they need to play the small ball, but then they're also very capable of playing the big ball too, I guess, if you want to refer to it as that. And they did both today. They were playing small ball to begin with, and then they started pouring it on.
And then it turned into pitching defense in the 3-run homer, except it was a grand slam.
Yeah. That was pretty much it. So Santana, again, can't say enough about him. And we keep talking about Jack Suwinski, but I think we need to talk about him again. Like, 3 more hits in game 2. He drives in 5 runs. He didn't steal a base in game 2. He actually got caught stealing. It was like the one bad thing anybody did all game. But 3 for 6, 5 RBIs. He's hitting 297 now, which is like a 100-point jump from last year. On-base percentage over 400. He's got an OPS of 1,069. He's basically Juan Soto right now. Like he's like peak Juan Soto.
Yeah. And he's doing it away from PNC Park.
Another big point.
He's having decent at-bats against lefties. He's crushing righties. All the underlying numbers show that it's not a bunch of luck. He's seeing the ball really well. The swing and miss isn't as prevalent in his game right now, and obviously the walk rate's through the roof. I never imagined this would happen.
and I sent it out today. Like, he simply just doesn't swing at pitches out of the zone. Like, if the ball is outside of the strike zone, he does not swing at it. And when the ball's in there, like, he's still striking out, a decent amount. But when he makes contact, it's loud.
Very.
And he's doing it often enough that the strikeouts right now they're not even a concern.
I don't even know what his strikeout rate's at this point.
I think he's like right around 25,
which is a lot more manageable than the 30 we were looking at last year. Also, whenever you bump the walk rate up as much as you are, and he's somehow just barreling up every single baseball he sees.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 27.5% strikeout rate, actually. So
it's bumped up a little bit, but
yeah, 27.5%, but he's walking 17.5% of the time. And like you mentioned, when he hits the ball, he's barreling it, and he's hitting it hard.
Yeah, literally every time.
Every time.
His expected weighted on base average is like 450.
Yeah. Like, it's wild. Like,
that's his expected number.
And it's not even just the offense. Like, he's got 5 stolen bases.
Yeah.
He's playing great defense. He robbed the home run in the Dodgers game. He made a couple really nice plays today in the outfield that I felt like, it didn't really get a lot of attention because the Pirates were just beating them up at the time. But
right,
he's turning into a really good baseball player, like, all around. And it's pretty incredible to see, because last year when we saw him, and even when he was hot, like, it was like, okay, this guy has one tool, and that's he can hit the ball over the fence, but really everything else isn't that great. So he's probably not going to be like a really good major leaguer. Like, he'll be serviceable, but because he's really good at one thing, but that's it. Now he's really good at multiple things, and it's just snowballing into a really good player. And he's only 24 years old. Like, are we just like seeing the beginnings of Jack Suwinski turning into a monster?
I mean, I'm pumping the brakes still on Jack Suwinski.
The league pump the brakes on me, because I'm a little bit. I'm full speed ahead.
It's hard not to get there, because I was just on this whole rampage about Rodolfo Castro earlier that I'm a believer in him now. I'm pumping the brakes right now on Suwinski, only because the league's going to punch back here at some point. They're going to find his weakness, and we'll see how he reacts to that. But it is very encouraging that last year the league did punch back after they saw that one tool that was very good, and he struggled with it. He's countered now. We'll see what happens next.
He hit his 25th career home run today in 127 games played.
Yeah, he can put the ball over the wall.
He's going to be like a 3-WAR player for his career by tomorrow.
Yeah, and 4 weeks ago we were arguing whether he should be on the team.
Yeah. It's just incredible, the turnaround. Like, and then you saw him in spring training. He was lost. The dude was completely lost in spring training. And even the first couple weeks of the season, it was like, how long can we keep this up with Jack Suwinski? And instead, he's just completely turned around. He's the best player on the team right now.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's Connor Joe and Jack Suwinski right now. Those are your 2 best players. But yeah, 4 weeks ago, I was saying that on April 18th, I'm going to be complaining about Jack Suwinski for the 14th day in a row, arguing that he should be sent down. Well, it's now April 29th, and he's an MVP candidate.
Just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Gosh, what's next? I mean, we've got more things to talk about. I don't want to go too long here, because we already had a 30-minute post-game show before this, but Brian Hayes, 2 hits today. Brian Reynolds, 2 more hits today. Let's talk about Drew Maggi a little bit. All right. So, I mean, this is going to be the last time we ever have to talk about Drew Maggi.
Okay.
All right. Last time we ever have to talk about. I don't think anyone was really a fan of him sticking around, right? But I think none of us really anticipated that his presence would not matter whatsoever at all in any of these games that he's been in. I mean, he gets sent down today, option to AA, but because it's a doubleheader, the Pirates get a 27th man. So you're optioned. He's 0 for 4 for his major league career. 13 years in the minors. Finally gets an at bat, gets a game played. The dude has been a part of some pretty fun baseball games so far.
Yeah.
He gets in today's game in the 7th inning. Yeah, 7th inning. He enters into the game, and he laces an RBI single immediately after a Jason Delay triple, mind you. So like this is just the wacko world we live in. Jason Delay triple. Drew Maggie pinch hits, laces his first career hit, gets his first career RBI. Pretty cool moment. Pirates dugout just erupts. It was kind of cool watching the replay of the hit. They like zoomed in on Maggie and like he hits it. I mean, he hits it square. He lined it right up the middle. And he's just, the smile as he's running it down to first. Really, really cool moment there. I know you're not much for sentimentality, Tyler, but I mean, you had to have. You gotta love that. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I'm in fear of being yelled at again on Twitter. So I love the moment. It was really great to watch him be happy. Very happy for him. He got his health insurance. Good for Drew Maggie.
There you go. That's the most we're gonna get out of you.
It really was a cool moment. Like watching him smile down the line. It's great when you're up by 13 and you can enjoy moments like that.
Yep.
I'm glad it happened the way it did.
Yeah. I mean, it really, honestly, the whole, there was a lot of Drew Maggie discourse really throughout the course of this entire week. And all of it was just for nothing because none of it ended up mattering. We ended up getting the good story. We ended up getting the good vibes. Jimothy right here, feel good story, brings good vibes. Good vibes matter. And yeah, at the end of the day, should he have been on the team? You know what? Who cares? At this point, who cares?
Didn't matter.
Who cares? Yeah. I mean, we got a good moment out of it. He got his first hit, got his first RBI, got a double in the 9th inning off a position player. So yeah, Drew Maggie. I apologize for any discourse I may have started on Twitter. Because you know what?
I apologize for nothing.
Didn't matter. It
did not matter. Every story needs a villain. I'll gladly be the villain in this one. But it had a storybook ending, so there we go.
Yep. All right.
Good for Drew Maggie.
Good for Drew Maggie. What else we want to talk about? I mean, it's a 16-1 win. It's just
16-1. You know what? We talked about the Maggie smile. I think I saw Brian Reynolds smile for the first time in my life today.
Brian Reynolds
after he almost got drilled in the face with a Carlos Santana line drive. So that happened, but it is good to see Brian Reynolds really. He's really stroking the ball right now, and he's one of the worst hitters on this team at the moment.
He's only hitting .313 and slugging .566. So yeah, I mean he's
probably like the 4th or 5th best.
He can't keep up with Connor Joe and Jack Suwinski and Jason Delay. Those three are just dominating. And Brian Reynolds at this point is just an afterthought.
Rumor has it that it was between him and Maggie on being sent down.
Maggie's got better numbers.
Oh, dear Lord. Also, real quick, I just want to touch on Brian Hayes.
Okay.
Really starting to see that swing difference. I don't know if you're noticing it. The attack angle looks a lot better right now, kind of like we saw in spring. He still has let the ball get deep every now and then, but he's lasering the ball a good bit right now. And it seems like we're pretty close to a little bit of an offensive breakout or a hot streak or something from him.
So really, I mean, I agree. He's hitting the ball hard. He's still this is I guess maybe the only negative thing I'll say is, he's still not pulling the ball and driving it. He's hitting the ball hard.
It's there a little more.
It's okay. It's there a little bit more, but I feel like it's still all to right field. And he's hitting the ball hard there, which is fine. But I'm also seeing he's he's still pounding it into the ground more than I'd like to see. But I will say this, like ever since moving into the leadoff spot, he's looked a lot better. Going into today, he was hitting 281, OPS of 845 out of the leadoff spot. So he's definitely, I mean, he's been in the leadoff spot ever since Cruz got hurt. So right. You're looking at that's now 2 full weeks where is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? 2 weeks? It
might be through
3 weeks.
Easter, whatever Easter was.
So I think it's 3 weeks. So, I mean, we're now at 3 straight weeks where Hayes has looked pretty good at the plate. He started off the year just awful. And yeah, he's inching his way back up towards being a league average hitter. He's got his WRC plus up to 88, which is what it was last year. Still need to see more out of him, but yeah, you definitely like what you're seeing more out of him now than say what we saw 3 weeks ago.
And it's also what we've been talking about for years. You can live with Brian Hayes being that 88 WRC plus guy when other guys in the lineup can hit. And right now that's happening, so we don't have to worry about that as much. Because you're just getting a defensive 3-WAR player there for fun.
Right. That's the thing. Like if he can, and that's what makes it so that's what makes him so exciting is because the defense is so good. If he can just slight improvement offensively makes him a really good player. So yeah, hopefully he keeps making steps. I agree with you. Like we're seeing a little bit of progress there. Hopefully we keep seeing it. All right. Well, the Pirates are 20-8. They're the best team in the National League.
The Pirates are 20-8.
They play the Nationals tomorrow. Johan Oviedo's on the mound, who's just looked incredible all season long. I'm kind of excited to see what he can do against this Nationals lineup because, like, when we talk about hodgepodges of nothingness, this Nationals lineup it's just littered with 28-year-old rookies. Like it's just 28-year-old rookies everywhere.
And like some failed Pirates pickups.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Bonda and Michael Chavis.
And Chad Cole. Yeah, it's rough. I can't imagine it's fun times right now for Nationals fans. So
we've been
but
there.
They do Josiah Gray on the mound tomorrow for Washington, who's probably their best pitcher. But Oviedo has just looked excellent. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Oviedo can do tomorrow.
Just excited every day at this point.
It's Bucko fever. We've all caught it.
Exactly.
All right. So the Pirates are going to look to go to win their 21st game of April tomorrow. We'll be back with a post game show tomorrow. God, I can't even talk anymore. We'll be back with a post-game show tomorrow. Hopefully we're here celebrating a series sweep. But that's all I got for you guys. Anything to add before we leave out?
Nope. Let's go get the sweep tomorrow.
All right. See you guys.
Peace out, Scouts.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.